Okay, this is a 4-minute game plus 1 second per move. He will play the Moro Gambit likely, but let's switch into the Alapano Sveshnikov variation, so we don't take the pawn. It's a bit dangerous in my opinion. So let's just play some normal stuff here. And now this is a beautiful chain, but let's crack it up. So e5 is maybe a good move here. And this might be a weakness here on c3. The pawn is not protected anymore by other pawns. So yeah, this is a nice trick. I mean, I can't take here because then bishop b5 and my queen would be history. But I could play bishop g4, or I want to develop first, so bring my king into safety here. I think black is already very fine, so I want to concentrate on this pawn. c5 is now a weakness, so maybe I should regroup a bit. Either knight b8, d7, c5, or knight a5, b6, knight b7, knight c5. Yeah, let's play this. Okay. And this is now I think an ideal outpost for my knight. I could also try to put pressure here on c4. Like this. You can see that this is now a weakness. The problem is after d6 I cannot take here. He takes, I take back, and again the same old trick like a bit before. He can sacrifice a bishop and afterwards he can take my queen. But if he plays d6 I can just move my bishop here, and this pawn I think will become a weakness. You can see that it's already very difficult for him to defend the pawn on c4. Let's see if he really retreats the knight. I'm not sure if he wants to do it. I mean, I can just play bishop g5 afterwards and kick the knight here away. So black is already very fine. I mean, I need to take care about this pawn here. I want to keep the pawn, obviously. What about f5 and e4? Yeah, I like this because the knight is very good here on e4, and let's kick this good piece away. And afterwards I can just take here on c4, and the rook on f1 will be history as well. So next move will be e4. Yeah, this doesn't help. I mean, I just move away. I think he hoped that I take here, but obviously I don't do something like this. And afterwards e4. He wants to threaten a mate afterwards on the square. But it's just g6. And after queen d5 I can play queen f7. Yeah, I think this was the best practical choice for him, but I want to get rid of the bishop here. He needs to take care about the c4 pawn. Maybe I can play something like bishop, rook c5. Okay, he wants to, maybe he wants to play something like queen d4 or queen d5, but I can just play bishop f6 afterwards, right? Let's take here. I'm almost a whole piece up now. He just has one pawn, this pawn, but I can take the pawn in the next move. Okay, and what does he want to do now? And he's running out of time a bit now. Yeah, he's threatening checkmate here, but we just play bishop f6, and now it's really difficult for him. What will he do? He needs to exchange maybe.
White forfeits on time.
Okay, what can we learn from the game? I think to focus on weaknesses in the enemy's camp, and it was just right from the beginning here that you can see that these pawns might become weak. The pawn on c3 cannot be defended by another pawn, so we can put pressure on this pawn with rook c8 later on, just moving the knight away, and then we put pressure on it. White played c4 later on, but it doesn't help that much because the pawn is still a weakness, because there is no pawn that can protect this pawn. And yeah, you can see that a lot of pieces, the pawn here and the queen and the bishop, they are all aiming at c5, so it's not possible for white to move this pawn forward. And yeah, and practically I think the game is, due to this weakness, very difficult for white at this point of time already. And I could have played, I think, f5 even a move earlier, and then taking here, it's all possible. But I mean, I think my pieces are just well developed, and I focused on a weakness in the enemy's camp, and I had a clear-cut plan. So I just needed to move the pieces in the manner that I attack c4, and at the same time I try to avoid that white can play c5 himself. So I mean, there was no miracle moves that I played. It was just an easy strategy with a focus on a weakness of a pawn which could not be defended with other pawns.